Hello, my name is Luis Angel Gonzalez, and today I'm going to talk about my autobiography for my last project in, in presentations, right? Okay, so I was born on January 6th, 1998, um, and there is two fun facts about this. First, here's my mother, she's my mom, and the fun fact is that she was also born on January 6th, so we've shared our birthday my whole life. So in that kind of sucked in my childhood. Now it's okay, but when I was a kid, it kind of sucked having to share your birthday with your mom. Um, Also, the other thing about this date is that it's day of Reyes Magos, so that's another thing. I've gotten roscas instead of cake my whole life, and I'm kind of sick of roscas. I hate them now. I kind of just want cake now, and I just hate roscas. I cannot describe it enough. After this, the next milestone in my life was going to kindergarten, and it was pretty uneventful, to be honest, as long as I can remember. But this is where I made like my first friends. Um, yeah, I learned to write, I learned to paint, all the stuff you learn in kindergarten. I learned to socialize at that age. Um, it was like an okay experience. I don't really remember much, just that it was okay. It was really good. And then I started going to primary school. My next milestone, the next milestone in my life. A lot more things happened here. Um, a few of my friends that were in kindergarten also went to the same school that I went. Uh, it was called Estaquio Buelna, and as you know, primary school is 6 years here in Mexico. And I went 5 years to that school. I didn't went to my sixth, but I'll talk about that later. So here I like you have the same group for every year. So you get really acquaintance or like you make a lot of friends of the same group because you share you pretty much all day with them, like all morning and all that stuff. So yeah, I met like my best friends here at that time. Um, we visited it, we like went to each other's houses, we hang out inside of school, we did a lot of stuff together. Uh, and one thing that happened around that time that was like I still remember a lot. I was one of my best friends and I went to his house, and the whole day was okay. We played, we did a lot of stuff, and that's it. But when his mom was taking me back to my house, we rode on the back of a truck, both of us, and we were standing up. Well, I think we were eating grapes or something like that while talking, and her mom was driving. Um, and as her mom like made a turn, he fell off the truck and got hurt pretty bad. So, and he missed school for like a lot of time because he really got hurt. So that was like a little story I had there. This happened like in my fourth year, I think, in primary school. That kind of sucked, and it always stuck with me because I've never seen like that an accident like that up close. So yeah. Um, Something else that happened is that I started doing my first hobbies or sports when I was going to primary school. I started with swimming. I think that was actually no, my first sport was mountain biking because both my parents are mountain bikers. They are still to this day, and they were then. So for like 20 something years, they've been mountain bikers. Uh, and that was my first sport. I did it for a few years, and then I changed to swimming. I also did it for a few years, and I also went to karate. It was pretty fun. I went to competitions, but ultimately I sucked at karate, and I ended up dropping out. After that came middle school. Like I said before, actually, I did 5 years of my primary school in that school that I just talked about, Estacio Buena. And then when my 6th year started, I moved to Culiacan. All this time I was living in Guamuchil, which is like 1 hour away from Culiacan. And yeah, I moved, I was like, what, 10, 11 years old when I moved here to Culiacan. And I joined Colegio Sinaloa in my 6th year of primary school, and also my middle school, my whole middle school. So I was a total of 4 years in Colegio Sinaloa. This is a Catholic school, and if it only reinforced that my idea of not believing in religion at all. It was honestly pretty bad. Like, they were pretty strict, but not in a like in an okay way. I don't know how to explain it. This was not a good school, to be honest. The education was fine, but they also teach you a lot of like religion, and that just never went with me, you know. There was also like mandatory church day, like every first Friday of every month, and I never liked it. Yeah, and there was also seminars and all that stuff about Catholic stuff, and just no. But I did make some very good friends. Some of them I still keep in touch. And it was, in that aspect, it was okay, to be honest. They had some fun events too, like some sport events and some expeditions. I don't know how to say it, but that was kind of rare. But when they did do it, it was kind of fun. Okay, next it's high school. So here I joined initially Tecnológico de Monterrey. I made the exam, I passed the exam, and I got a beca too, a scholarship. And yeah, I started doing my high school in Tecnológico Monterrey. The first 2 years I did high school there. And after that, after my first 2 years, I moved to Guadalajara again. I moved again, this time to Guadalajara, to live with my brother who was in college at that time. And I was going to finish my high school in Guadalajara in Tecnológico Monterrey, so I transferred. This was a terrible idea because, I mean, it didn't seem at the time to be a terrible idea, but now in retrospect, it's a terrible idea because I once again left all my friends behind. So I had to start over in another place with strangers. And this time, it was like at the end of their high school too. So all the little groups of friends were already made. So that kind of sucked. I really never made friends at all. I couldn't. Just never happened. I had some acquaintances, some people that I did some work with, some school work, but that's about it. And so a pretty dark era of my life started there. I got pretty depressed because of that and some other stuff happening at the same time. And I just completely failed the year. My last year of high school, I just failed. And I had to go back to Culiacan. I moved back, I left school, I moved back, and this is when I joined Tecnológico Monterrey. No, sorry, Tec Milenio. I joined Tec Milenio in my last year to make it again because I had failed. So this time in Campus Culiacan, Prepa, I did my last year in Tec Milenio. There I met a lot of, like, a group of friends, a really cool group of friends that I have, and they really helped me through some tough times. I'm really grateful for that. But then the end of the year came. We finished high school, and as everyone is moving away to college, my two best friends that I made here in Tecmilenio also unfortunately had to move to different cities. So it was a girl and a boy. The boy moved to Guadalajara and the girl to Puebla. So yeah, that kind of sucked too. So once again, I was kind of not with not many friends. So college started. I initially joined Tec de Monterrey again, but here in Campus Culiacan, and I started a career that I don't know why I chose, but that was a big mistake. It was engineering in technologies, something like that. Definitely not for me. So I failed pretty bad the first year. I was also still kind of depressed. But yeah, I failed the year. I dropped out, and the remaining of that semester, I worked as an Uber driver, part-time mostly. And so I made some money like that. And then I started working with my dad in his company, same part-time. Then in January of the next year, I finally joined Tecmilenio again in college. And this time I chose finances, the career I am now, and I'm about to graduate. I have one semester left. I never did that well socially here in College of Tecmilenio. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like in high school that I made a lot more friends. And then, well, like we all know, COVID happened. So that was what, like 1 year and a half of pretty much no socialization too, which it was okay. Like I said, my friends were already like in other colleges, in other places. So it never affected me that much. And yeah, so that leads me to my current life, which is right now, one semester away from graduating, and I'm working still with my dad part-time in his company. It's a construction company, and while I'm earning some money like that, I'm about to graduate and all that. I have a dog. There she is. Her name is Lulu, and actually there is like a photo here of her. And yeah, my life is pretty okay right now. It's pretty good. I don't have any complaints. I'm happy. So yeah, that's about it. That's my life. That's my autobiography to this time. And thanks for listening.